So today is my day off and we're about to head over to my doctor's appointment. It's the same doctor, the fertility specialist that I've been seeing for 2 years already. She's the one that did both of my endometriosis removal surgeries. And today is our initial appointment to see if we're going to move forward with IUI. And if so, today will be day one, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. They're going to do a pelvic ultrasound and a consultation, and I guess go from there. So let's go. I'm a little nervous just because I don't really know what to expect. I didn't think that we would be here so soon. I thought this would kind of be like our last resort, also because it is expensive, because obviously our insurances don't cover this. So, and then on top of that, it's not guaranteed that we will be pregnant. So there's a lot of anxiety going into this appointment and moving forward with this process, just because, again, I didn't think we'd be here so soon. I thought at least I'd just get started on hormones and still try to conceive naturally, but given my situation, I have been trying already for 6 months and nothing has happened. So I do understand why she wants to jump straight into IUI, but yeah, we'll see, and let's go. Okay, so today is actually the following day. Yesterday was my appointment that you guys basically last saw that I was gonna head over to, and I never recorded like a follow-up to that. So I just kind of want to break down my appointment and go over what the doctor said to me yesterday. So first off, I got there and I was charged for an IUI procedure because that's originally what we decided, my husband and I decided we wanted to do. Just jump right into it because it has already been technically 6 months that we've been actively trying. However, I did get off of the birth control, like I mentioned before, back in May of 2019. So technically I've been off of the pill for 1 year, a little more than a year now, and nothing has happened. We've been actively trying for 6 months, nothing has happened. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I have not got my period because of my high prolactin levels and, you know, who knows, for any other reasons. So with that said, yesterday when I got there, I was charged for the IUI procedure, which was $900, and that's just for one cycle. That's not including the trigger shot. That's not including any of the medications. So I did pay the $900, and that was before I even talked to the doctor or anything. That was just what my husband and I decided going into this appointment, that we did want to move forward with IUI. So the first thing they did was a pelvic ultrasound, just to make sure that, you know, there wasn't anything going on in my body as far as like my ovaries, uterus, and all of that goes. So she did a pelvic ultrasound, and yesterday would have been cycle day 8. I believe they like to start women on cycle day 5, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 3 or 5, I really can't remember. And because I am on 8, my doctor was, you know, not too concerned, but she just wanted to make sure that everything looked good to get me started on all of these medications. So when she did the pelvic ultrasound, she noticed that I did have a lot of cysts in my ovaries, and this is again because I do have PCOS. And she said because of that, it's a good thing, because when I'm taking all of these medications, those will eventually mature and, you know, basically compete to release one of those follicles. And that is how multiples happen when you are on Femera or any other fertility supplement like that. Multiples can happen because your ovaries producing or trying to mature all of these follicles, and multiple can be released. So some women do release multiple eggs, some women just release one. So it all depends. Women are all different, of course. So she did the ultrasound, had a lot of cysts, and my uterus, like basically nothing was going on in my body that let her know we couldn't move forward with this. But because nothing was going on, she said, okay, let's go ahead and move forward. We're able to start you on the Femera and all of these other medications. So now next, what she wanted to do is obviously prescribe me, or what she wanted to do was get me started on all of these different medications. The first one that she did prescribe was this baby aspirin. Right here. I'm trying to cover as much information, but it's just a generic baby aspirin. and it is 81 milligrams, 1 tablet by mouth every day. So when she first prescribed me this, I was a little confused because I had never heard about baby aspirin being used as a fertility supplement. However, I did some research on it, and I guess baby aspirin or aspirin in general is linked to help women conceive, specifically women who have inflammation. And because I do have endometriosis, this could be another way to help me get pregnant, basically. So that was the first thing that she did prescribe me. The second thing that she prescribed me was metformin, and this one is the 500 milligrams, and you take 1 tablet with a meal once daily. This one, she specifically said that she wants me to continue taking even when I do get pregnant, and I believe this is supposed to help get me pregnant, obviously, and keep me pregnant. So for those of you that don't know, I do have PCOS. I have high prolactin levels, and there is a term for that. I'm not sure of the name, but I'll list all of this information down below. So I have high prolactin levels, I mentioned PCOS, I have endometriosis, and I have a unicornuate uterus. So I mean, with all of these things mixed, obviously, of course, I'm gonna have trouble getting pregnant. So this is why she wanted to start me on all of this. But I do also have a higher risk of miscarriage or an ectopic pregnancy. So she does want to try to prevent that from happening whenever I'm able to get pregnant, or whenever I do get pregnant. Women who do have unicornuate uteruses and also PCOS, endometriosis, all of these other things are at higher risk when they are pregnant. So we're trying to avoid that altogether. And just a little background, I've never been pregnant at all. I've never, had an abortion. I've never miscarried, nothing. So I've literally never been pregnant at all. So she prescribed me the metformin, and I believe metformin is a drug that's used for people who have diabetes to control your insulin and all of that. And this is a common drug that women take when they have PCOS, basically, to control your insulin levels. And the last thing, actually, no, not the last thing. I have 2 more. And I don't have the other one here with me, but the other one is a drug to lower my prolactin levels. And I'll link that one down below as well because I forgot the name of it. But she wants me to continue taking that up until I do become pregnant. So once I do become pregnant, I could get off of that. And the last thing is this Femara, however you pronounce it. However, that one is like the big brand. I got the generic brand, which is also very common, and it's Letrozole. I don't know how to pronounce it. And it is 2.5 milligram tablet, and I'm supposed to take 2 once a day for 5 days. So this drug is basically what's going to help my body think that it is ovulating and hopefully start producing and growing my follicles in my ovaries. So I know this drug specifically is used for women who do have breast cancer. So I don't know how these two correlate, fertility and breast cancer, but whatever. It's, I'll take it if that means I'll get pregnant. So this one here, like I said, I take it for 5 days, which means in 5 days, which would be Monday, June 1st, is when I go back in to see my doctor for a follow-up ultrasound to see if my ovaries are producing and growing the follicles within them. However, the caveat to this is when I had my first endometriosis surgery, they did remove my right tube because it was like completely shredded. It wasn't attached to anything, so it was just like hanging in there. So she did remove that right tube. I still do have my right ovary. However, because I don't have that tube, if I ovulate from my right ovary, nothing's going to happen. So when I go in Monday, fingers crossed that I'm ovulating from my left ovary. So it does have to be my left ovary, and hopefully they're able to tell at that next appointment what ovary I'll be, or I guess what ovary is reacting to this drug specifically. So if it is the left ovary and my follicles and eggs are growing, it does have to reach a certain size, I believe, in order to move forward with the trigger shot. And I forgot to mention the trigger shot. So they also prescribed me a trigger shot, which is also known as an HCG shot. And what that trigger shot does is it forces your ovary to release that egg that has grown, or eggs if there's multiple. So that's given in the abdomen. I don't know if it's like done at night, in the morning. I'm not too sure yet, but it is something that they give to you and you do it yourself at home, which I'm a little concerned about because that's a little scary, giving yourself an injection. Not gonna lie, I might have my husband do that because I don't think I can poke myself with a needle, you know? And that is separate from my pharmacy because I go to CVS, and that one is it's done by a completely different pharmacy, and they're supposed to call me and go over all of like my insurance stuff, and the cost, and then they mail that directly to my house. So I'm still waiting for that phone call. So that's what's going to happen Monday when I go in first thing in the morning. They're going to do that ultrasound. If it is my right ovary, I'm still going to continue taking the metformin, the baby aspirin, all of that. However, we're going to wait for the Femara to continue continue next cycle, basically. And nothing will be done, obviously, because like I said, I don't have my right tube. So if it is a left ovary and everything looks good and she says, hey, your body's about to ovulate, I'll go home, do the trigger shot, I'm assuming. And she specifically said, I don't recommend IUI right this moment because my husband's semen analysis results were phenomenal, per the doctor. She said, you make sure you go home and tell your husband that he has perfect swimmers. So because his numbers were so high and his sperm was basically really, really good, she doesn't think it's necessary to jump right into IUI because IUI is mainly used for men who have lower sperm count, and it basically helps the sperm meet the egg right in the uterus already. So that's basically what IUI is for. So she said because your husband's sperm count is so high and like the quality is good, I don't really think you would need IUI right now. So she wants me to try on our own basically for 3 tries, and then after that we can see if we want to either do IUI or just jump straight into IVF. My husband and I haven't really discussed that far, so we are just going to try this first and see how that goes. So like I said, like going back, if I am ovulating from my left ovary and everything looks good, I'll go home, do the trigger shot, and then we'll have sex and hopefully conceive. Fingers crossed. I mean, that's our plan, but I know there's always a different plan set already. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, we're staying positive and all of that. Next thing I wanted to go over really quick is the cost of everything, because I know me personally, I want to know everything. I want to know what I'm getting myself into. I know I mentioned before the first thing I did when I got to the doctor's office is pay for the IUI procedure. However, because we're not doing that right now, obviously every time you go in and they do an ultrasound or you have a consultation, all of this is out of pocket because it's considered a fertility treatment. And my husband's insurance or my insurance does not cover any type of fertility treatments at all. So all of this is being paid out of pocket. So I'm assuming that they would just give me a credit in my account every time I go in for an ultrasound that has to do with this fertility. It's $240. So yeah, it starts adding up a lot. As far as the drugs go, I would say I spent about $20 on all of those 4 that I listed. My insurance did cover all of those, and I spent about $20. Like I mentioned earlier, I have not heard from the other pharmacy that issues the trigger shot, so I'm not really sure how much that one's going to be. My doctor said it could be around $100, but again, that's just an estimate, so I'm not too sure. So I will let you guys know once I hear about that. And then lastly, I kind of wanted to touch on the supplements that I'm taking aside from these prescribed medications. So I am currently taking the Alani New Balance, the fertility enhancer basically, that contains the folic acid and all of those things that you need, specifically women who have PCOS or are trying to conceive. So I've been taking that one since the end of December. I'm also taking the Alani multivitamin, women's multivitamin daily. I am taking the fish oil supplement and vitamin B6 supplement. I want to say that's it. This will be the last month that I'm taking the multivitamin and the Alani New Balance because I just recently ordered a prenatal multivitamin, and it's supposed to be one of the best. I did do some research to try to figure out what prenatal vitamin was the best on the market right now, the highest quality, the highest ratings, all of that. And the one I found was through Ritual, which is an online supplement service, I guess. I don't know if you can buy them in the stores. I didn't do that much research, but I did select them because they had the best ratings and they have all of the nutrients in that supplement that I need in order to try to conceive. They do specifically say that you should start taking a prenatal if you're trying to conceive, obviously, to get all of those nutrients and vitamins that you need for your body. And in that one, I'm not 100% sure, like right off the top of my head, what's all in there, but I know it does have the folic acid. It has the omega-3s, vitamin D, vitamin B, and that's all that I can think of off the top of my head. However, I will link it down below, and I do have a coupon code for $15 off of your order if you want to order anything from their website. I will link that down below as well. So that's all the information I currently have as of today. I guess I'll fill you guys in if I do have any side effects with any of these medications. I know some of the most common side effects while taking these is like stomach issues, obviously mood swings, hot flashes, cramping, nausea, dizziness, stuff like that. So fingers crossed that I don't get any of these symptoms. I'm actually taking these right before I go to sleep because I heard it's the best time to take them so that your body can just, get used to them while you're sleeping and you don't even deal with the symptoms. So I have been taking, well, obviously it's only been one night because I just started all of these last night, which was the day of my appointment. So I know that was a lot of information, and it's crazy to think that we're actually here because when I first heard that we were going to be, that my doctor suggested that we do IUI, I was a little bit shocked because I just felt like that was like one of the last steps that you take with your fertility journey. I was not prepared to hear that. So after I met with my doctor, she was very reassuring and positive about everything. She's a great doctor. She's very knowledgeable. So I'm comfortable being in her care and I trust her 100%. So I'm staying positive. So I just left my follow-up appointment with my doctor. Today was my third follow-up ultrasound, I guess. Monday I had my second one just to see if the medications I was taking was working, and I forgot to video record that. But basically at that appointment they just said that the medications weren't really doing anything for me because my uterine lining was not thickening and I didn't really have any mature follicles yet. So she wanted to see me again today, today is Thursday, just to see if anything has changed in my body. Also, my last appointment, they found a cyst on my left ovary. That was a pretty big size, and I have been experiencing pain on that side, so that explains that. And then, so today's appointment, did another ultrasound to follow up, and my last day taking the Letrozole, I think that's what it's called, the Femara, whatever. My last day taking that was Sunday, and I'm still taking the Metformin and the baby aspirin, and that's going to continue up until I do get pregnant. So I'm still continuing to take those. And today at my appointment, she said the medications were working, my uterine lining was thickening, and my ovaries were both producing eggs. However, my right one is the one that's in charge basically right now, which is not what we wanted because I don't have a right tube. So we need it to be my left ovary in order for me to get pregnant. The downside of all of this is that I basically wasted all this money and time and putting my body through all of this for nothing to happen. Because like I said, it does need to be my left ovary, so it's kind of like a slap in the face. And the good thing is that the meds are working, so we know that my body is reacting to the medications that she put me on. So I mean, I guess there's pros and cons to it depending on how you look at it. I'm just like emotionally and physically, mentally just beat, So she did say I'll probably have a period here in a couple of weeks, and then once my period starts, to give them a call, and then we'll start the second round of the Letrozole and start this cycle all over again and pray and hope that it's my left ovary this time that is in charge. So that's where we're currently at. So today marks day 10 of taking Metformin, and I'm still feeling some serious side effects. The main one being nausea, honestly, well, and constipation too, but I've just lost my appetite completely. Like the thought of eating meat right now is just like, I could literally throw up. So I've literally just been eating noodles, and that's pretty much it. I've just been wanting to eat like breads, carbs basically. I'm okay eating fruit, but anything else, like just the thought of it is like I could probably throw up right now thinking about it. I actually had to come into my room to lay down for a little bit because I was sitting at my desk working in our office here at home, and you know when you have to like throw up and your mouth gets all watery and stuff and you start getting like hot and clammy, that's how I started to feel. So I had to come lay down for a second. So I would say those are the number two. I would say those are the main symptoms that I've been feeling since being on metformin. And like I said, I stopped taking the letrozole on Sunday night, which was almost a week ago. Well, not even a week, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 5 days ago. So can't be that. So it's definitely the metformin. And after speaking to a bunch of different people who are also on metformin for either PCOS or their diabetes, they said like the first couple of weeks of starting metformin was rough for them too, just for, you know, the adjustment and having their body accustomed to taking the metformin. And I know the most common symptoms are like GI problems. So like I said, nausea, constipation, those are definitely the top two symptoms I'm currently experiencing. And quite frankly, I'm over it because, you know, but there is a pro to this. Since I am feeling nauseous and have no appetite, I haven't been eating, so maybe I'll lose some weight while I'm at it, you know? So yeah, just wanted to check in real quick. Also, yesterday I did have my follow-up appointment, so that's the last clip you watched, and I just wanted to add some information on that. So the way they were able to tell that my right ovary was basically in charge was because the size and the amount of follicles I do have in my ovaries. So when they're doing the pelvic ultrasound, what they do is they measure each follicle to see how big it is using, I want to say it's millimeters. And I think the biggest one I had between both ovaries was about 14.5 millimeters. And usually when a follicle releases, they say it could be anywhere between 18 to 20 millimeters. So that's how it kind of gave the impression to the doctor that my right ovary was in charge, because I did have 4 follicles in my right ovary that were above 10 millimeters each one. Probably even bigger. I think there was one that was like 12 also. So that one did have bigger follicles. The one on my left, or the ones on my left ovary, I had 3, and I want to say like the biggest one was at 10 millimeters. And then I also, like I said, had a cyst that was 16 millimeters big. So I'm also in quite a lot of pain today, and I feel like each day that passes, even each hour that passes, it's just more and more intense. And my doctor did say that that was going to probably happen just because when you're ovulating, when you're on these medications, like just imagine your ovaries being filled with all of these different follicles, like they're enlarged. So I just feel like very bloated in my pelvic area, and just like a sharp pain on both sides. Between the cyst on my left ovary and then all the follicles filling up my ovaries, like it's just a lot of pressure. So I can't really like make sudden movements, you know, like when you laugh or cough and your abdomen kind of like flexes or whatever. Any movements like that just hurts down there, and even to walk, it's a little painful. So thank God it is Friday today, so I have 3 days to relax, and hopefully ovulation will happen this weekend and I can start to prep my body for my period to start, and then obviously start the Letrozole all over again for next cycle, and hope and pray that it is my left ovary so that we can try to move forward with conceiving. So that's where I'm currently at. I don't think I will have any more updates because I can't imagine having any more or developing any more symptoms other than the ones I'm already having, because like I said, it is day 10 today on the metformin. So I think this is going to be the end of this video, and the next video I'll be doing is starting cycle 2 of the Letrozole and going to those appointments and hoping and praying that next time I check in with you guys, everything will be good to go and we can hopefully try the HCG trigger shot and go from there. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before you exit out of this video, and leave any questions down below. Thank you guys again for watching. See ya.